Today I'm here with Eva Welsher, the #1 women's senior pro pickleball player in the world. Eva's made a huge impact on the world of pickleball and on the lives of many players, including mine. When my buddy Matt and I took a trip down to Naples, Florida this January to play pickleball, we visited the famous East Naples Community Park. When someone heard we were visitors looking to meet local high-level players, they came up to us and said, "Go talk to that lady over there. She's the top senior pro in the world." At the time, I have to admit, I wasn't exactly sure what senior pro pickleball was, but meeting any #1 in the world sounded awesome. So we went up to her, introduced ourselves, and the rest was history. She not only took us under her wing for the 2 days we were there and helped transform our games, but has remained a mentor to us throughout our journey in the pickleball world as players, coaches, and community leaders. She was a right-handed Michigan native who's been playing pro pickleball since 2018. She currently holds the #1 women's senior pro mixed doubles rank, but has spent a long time holding the spot along with #1 in women's doubles. She's a superstar pickleball talent, a gifted coach, and a huge asset to the growth of pickleball for all players. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm excited to be here, and I just love you and Matt, and I'm so happy for our friendship.
You too. So when you were a kid, did you ever dream about being a professional athlete?
Well, I trained at a very young age for tennis, and I trained at one of the premier clubs in Michigan where, Aaron Crickstein and Susie Mascarin and a lot of D1 tennis players came out of that club, and people would come and actually come from other states to train with us. So I think that we never really spoke about it, but that was obviously our intent, was to, train and become the best. And obviously, we were very into Chris Everett and Jimmy Connors and all those at that time. But it was obviously everyone's goal, but it wasn't like, I'm going to turn pro,
Right. Totally.
It's a different time back then,
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, everyone has their own very original pickleball origin story. So can you start by telling us when and how you really got started in the sport of pickleball?
Yeah, so my youngest son, Mac, was going to be leaving for the USHL, and I was going to become an empty nester. And my friend, Susie Mascarin, who I played the pro circuit for platform tennis with and junior tennis with, knew this was happening. And she took me in her backyard with her sister and another friend and kind of introduced pickleball to me. She gave me a paddle. And then later on, this is like 2 weeks after he left, she tells me that she signed us up for a 4.5 tournament in Florida in like 2.5 months. And basically, figure it out, Eva, and we're playing this. And she knows me, that once I get going on something, it's full steam ahead. So I started practicing every single day. I couldn't get a third shot in for my life, even before I went to the tournament. It was very ugly, but that basically, and then afterwards I was like, hey, I can do this. And I just ran with it.
How'd you do in that 4-5 tournament?
I won gold in mixed and in the women's, but it wasn't pretty. It was really, really bad. It was a very small tournament, but it was a gift she gave me, because I was definitely like, what am I going to do? I had conquered tennis. I had conquered platform tennis. I really didn't like golf, and I just didn't know what I was going to do, and I needed a distraction. I needed a goal. And that's what she gave me. So it was a gift, and pickleball is a gift to this day.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are blessed with having the mindset of always wanting something new, wanting something to be challenged by. And I think it was, it was a blessing that pickleball found its way into your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned starting your days playing junior tennis. I played competitive tennis for years as well. I'd love to hear your take on the similarities and differences between competitive tennis and high-level pickleball.
Well, the way the game's going, it really looks a lot like tennis out there. I think the men play it, more strategically. than the women, because the men have such good hands that, you know, they have to be very strategic, because if they start a battle, you know, guys' hands are so fast that it can end. Whereas women, I think, started up faster, which is not bad. It's just a difference. You can see it at the pro level. Um, you know, I actually like to compare it to platform tennis, because in tennis, you know, you have pretty much straight lines except for short angles. But in paddle tennis, you have the court is basically the same size, but you use different speeds and angles. And if anybody's watched me play, I use more angles. I mean, I use the sky, I use the front of the court, the back of the court. You know, I tend to, I'm much more strategic out there, just because of my platform background and how that game is played. And so basically, I think I took that into, you know, pickleball. But again, I mean, the similarity is that it's basically the same court, but small, and there's a lot of the straight lines. But I think that the difference is that pickleball, you can change the paces a lot more. It's a lot more cat and mouse chess play. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I just, you know, there's parts of the body you attack where you don't attack in tennis. I just feel that it's like there's so much you can learn. And if you really embrace the strategy of it, it is so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The vastness of the sport is incredible. I've never encountered something where you have as much flexibility to speed up and hit with strength, and also require the discipline to completely slow it down, reset a ball. It is incredible.
And you don't do that in tennis. You know, it's just really straight angle. You know, I mean, you don't have the person's body, right? I mean, and yeah, so I just find it fascinating.
Right. So the word senior pro has been attached to your name, and it seems odd to me because you look like you're in your 40s.
You're so
But,
sweet.
but anyways, can you give us an explanation on what the Pickleball Senior Pro Tour is in terms of the structure, events, ages of the players, and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to be 50 plus for senior pro. So young, you know, nobody can play up, right? I mean, we can play down, but they can't play up. So, you know, we're in the same tournaments as the other events. You know, some tournaments don't even have senior pro, they just have 5 plus. And it's, you know, it's basically structured the same way. I mean, the pro name to it, the payouts are different than the younger pros, but overall, you know, it's the same, except you start at 50 plus. And obviously you are above, you want to be you have to be a 5.0 or above, but if the field is not full, then 4.5s can enter, etc.
Got it. Got it. I mean, it's very interesting because like very few sports have such a prominent senior pro tour with tons of competition, you know, frequent events, communities of players. You know, it's not a secret though that the regular pro tournaments and the players seem to get the majority of the attention, TV time, you know, greatest sponsorship deals, largest amounts of prize money. So, you know, from someone in your position in the senior pro tour, I'm curious, do you believe the senior pro tour gets the recognition it deserves? And do you see its level of prominence rising over time?
Well, you're talking to somebody who's a really big advocate for seniors, because I don't think the seniors get the recognition they deserve. And I have to applaud Ken Herman on the APP tour, because he embraces the seniors, he listens to them, he is trying to you know, increase their visibility. Um, he's recognized us from the payouts to the having special little things at tournaments for us. You know, just kind of like the respect of our group has really set the trail, like started this whole thing for the young people. And, it's so sad sometimes that you almost feel like in some tournaments or tours other than APP that you're just not really wanted there, and you're kind of just, not important when you put the pro name after it. Like if you're just going to have 5.0 and that's it, that there's no money, there's no nothing. But once you put that pro name there, then it's like, there's more to it, right? There's more recognition, there's more visibility, there's more everything, right? So if you're going to do it, then you got to do it, and I really, like I said, I really applaud the APP. I don't understand, because 90% of the players are all older and they want to see people like them, right? Obviously we're intrigued by the speed and everything that the young pros bring, but the people with the money, the people traveling to these tournaments, the people that play are my age.
Yeah.
Right. And so the younger people, which I respect, trust me, they're all my friends. I mean, I love them to death. And I wish them every accolade and every good thing in sponsorship, because they all deserve it. I just don't want the seniors to be ignored, because we play a good game. I mean, if you saw the split age, I mean, at the US Open, I mean, I was playing with Callie Smith, who's I just am in awe of, but I was playing next to her. Now, obviously I don't bring the same skill set at all, but the point is that we were competing, and it's not like, I was a blob on the court, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so anyways, that's my answer.
I totally hear you. I'm sure Callie would say the same thing about your game.
No, you're sweet.
Thank you. You make great points. So do you only play senior pro tournaments? Have you ever played a regular pro? Have you played a 5-0 plus regular? What's your tournament lineup sort of look like?
Well, I only play senior pro just because I have such good partners, and that's where I feel like I want to play against the best competition. Right. If I'm going to leave my family and pay for most of this myself, that I'm looking for the best. I'm looking to compete against the best. And so that's why I play pro. I did play at the Beer City in the Young Pro with a person I'd never played with, and who was a complete delight. And we just didn't do well, but I wonder if I played with my regular partner, how we would do. But like I said, it's exhilarating to play with the young pros. But I'd like to have one with me on my side than two seniors against two young.
Right. Well, I'm not going to be 50 for a while, but I'm hoping to get to the pro level soon. So I might need to pull you down from the ring.
Oh my gosh, I'll be in a wheelchair by then, sweetheart.
It's going to take me that long? Hopefully not. All right. Well, so I'm curious then, do you have another job, or is pickleball really full time? What does your life schedule sort of look like?
So I have worked since my babies were born. I actually worked out of my house my whole career. I'm CFO of a company. And I recently dropped from like a 50-hour job to a like 32-hour job now, and trying to get down to 20. My husband's retiring eventually. We don't know when, but he's 65, so it's someplace in the future here. And I'm trying to, dwindle down between training, my job, I coach. I have a full schedule, so it's a lot. It's a lot, but I have to be busy. That's just my personality. So
same here. Do you think there's a future where senior pro players can fully support themselves playing pickleball, not just coaching, but through prize money and sponsorships, or are you not sure if that's the case?
Well, I mean, I really don't want to say no. The thing is that there's a perception that just because you're older that you have money to like blow. You know what I'm saying? Like you have money to blow and that you can just do this all yourself and that only the young people need it. But I mean, I mean, a lot of people just don't want to go into their personal, money in order to travel if they're one of the best. Number two, it's some people just want to do this and they need the support. And I would like to say that some of these tours and tournaments, now that the money's getting bigger, and hopefully people will recognize that seniors are the ones that they need to help market their products, that eventually with new ownerships and stuff of tours and just sponsorships, that hopefully maybe there's a scenario for that, and I mean, I'm always hopeful that somebody will look at the seniors and say, these are the people that will sell our products, because people relate to them more than somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you see yourself in the pickleball world in 5 years as a player or a coach or a brand ambassador, whatever it may be?
In 5 years, I don't believe that I'll be playing, competing. I'll be playing a ton. I mean, I would like to get into commentating. Who knows, maybe I'll ref, or I love to coach. I think that I'm such a student of the game. I study video. I love the intricacies of it and finding new shots. And I just feel like I'm a wealth of information that I could really help somebody kind of take them from A to B. Plus, I mean, coming from tennis, I know the strokes really well. I know how to produce them. And that is what my journey is about. And so I love that part of it, and then comes the competing, but I'm all about the journey of becoming really good,
Absolutely. I mean, whether you're playing in 5 years or not, the game clearly needs you around. So stick
Right.
with us for the long haul.
Yeah. I don't want to be the person that nobody wants to partner with because I'm too slow. I don't want to end my career being an afterthought. I rather kind of go out on top and then help others or help grow pickleball. That's what I would love to do.
That's fair. That's a good point. So there's an extreme number of players in their 50s and 60s and 70s and even older taking up pickleball for the first time, some with a racket background and some with none. One of the great appeals of this game is it's extremely easy to learn and play and excel at, though it does also have a tendency to take a toll on players' bodies, sometimes a significant toll. I've actually heard some of my friends in their 50s plus playing that they've said, I'm so addicted to the game. I hurt my hamstring, I hurt my leg, but I have to keep playing. I don't want to stop. So
you can't stop.
What advice would you give for players to prevent injuries, especially in their 50 plus years?
Well, I mean, you're talking to somebody who doesn't listen to myself. Okay. So, I mean, but if I did listen to myself, I would say, you need to stretch before, you need to stretch after. Okay. At night, I would be using the massage guns to really just, all over your body to try to just break up any lactic acid and stuff like that. I'm really big on the Normatec pants. We do them like twice a day. We own them. Very helpful for the legs. I would say get 2 or 3 pairs of tennis shoes and alternate them so that your feet don't get molded to the same way so that you have any type of stress on your feet. So if you have 3 different brands, you change your shoes every single day so that your pressure points are different to help your feet. You can get, you know, I mean, and again, this is a plug, but it's true. I'm sponsored by Air Feet insoles, but stuff like that, put in your shoes, help your feet, because your feet, if you don't have your feet,
It's true.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't have anything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really big on changing the shoes, putting the insoles in, you know, the massage guns, get a massage, you know, and then if you can weight lift, I would definitely weight lift, keep your muscles strong as you get older. But stretching is really huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Another question about sort of self-care. Many professional athletes have personal or team psychologists, therapists, or other forms of mental support. What do you do to help yourself with the mental aspect of being a professional athlete?
Well, I've been trained from a very young age to have just be mentally tough. Um, I'm probably, I probably cross over. I'm crazy. I mean, I mean, you know, it's a mindset. I mean, you, you have to put in the time, you have to believe, you have to keep things simple. And, I think that if you practice a ton and you feel confident, then when you go into tournaments, you know you can fall back on that confidence that you've put the time in, you put the work in, that you can perform, and that then your mental stability, toughness will be there as long as you believe in yourself. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of like, I'm either all in or I'm out, because I don't know how to do it half. I can't go in and be mentally tough if I haven't put the work in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who says, oh, I'm just going to go play a tournament and think that they're going to be mentally tough. It's like, I mean, what do you fall back on? You know what I'm saying? Like you fall back on that you did 1,000 thirds before the tournament and that you can get that in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you have to practice, practice, practice for that confidence to go in and be mentally tough. You know what I'm saying? And know that you've put the work in, that you're a student of the game.
Yeah. I'm curious if there's like a specific strategy approach that you take. I mean, personally, when I play tournaments, of course, I'm dying to win. I want to win. I want to, you know, I want to destroy my opponent. But the approach I try and take is actually to disconnect with the outcome. I try to approach every match with the mindset of I'm here to get better. I hope my opponent's good because I want a good practice. I want them to force me to my limits and to play as good as possible. And I try not to think about the outcome. Sometimes when I do and I win the first game, I say, oh, I'm so close to winning. What happens if I lose? I lose the next two games. So, I mean, that's my strategy, is sort of trying to disconnect. Do you have a different strategy? Or do you just go in and just play hard? What's
right? So the way I approach the sports is it's my personal journey. Like I don't aim to be number one. I don't aim to win gold. I expect that if I put the work in and I'm prepared and that I know that I can be whomever, okay? And I know who I can't be, right? I mean, and I know that I need to work hard and improve to beat that person, right? But it's my personal journey and I'm only half a team. So I go in expecting that I'm going to give 120% and that I've put the work in and that I can, you know, I believe that, you know, maybe sometime, maybe I'm not the the best person on the court, but I make sure I'm the smartest person on the court. And I know that I can still win, even though I may not be the best person from whatever, forever, for whatever reason. Do you know what I'm saying? That strategy can trump skill. And
right?
so, to a certain point, obviously, but I go in and expect that if I put the work in, that the outcome will take care of itself,
Yep.
and that I will have be on the podium somehow. You know what I'm saying? So the people that go in and say, I want to win gold or I want to win this tournament, you know, I would say that's when you end up losing first round. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just so like, oh, like you're not taking, you have to respect your opponent. You have to respect their ability. You have to go in believing that you're -10 going in and that you have to climb your way up and beat them. And you have to have, like I said, you have to have respect for every single person out there and perform to the best of your ability.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. If you could give a beginner brand new to pickleball 3 pieces of advice, what would they be?
I would say 1, take care of the basics. Nobody practices their serve return or their third shot as much as they should. You need to start the point correctly. Everybody worries about the kitchen and all this stuff and all these fancy shots, but really concentrate on your serve return and your third shot, because none of it counts unless you're in there, right? And then I would say number 2, study the game, study the patterns. Pick one person in a match and just watch, how they develop a point. That would be the second. And 3, practice, 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 practice. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've talked to you guys about that all the time. It's like there's no substitute for putting in hours practicing. I mean, I practice so much, and it's like part of it is just my psyche. Like I need to do it in order to have confidence for a tournament, and I don't know how to do it any other way. But I would say practice.
Right.
Practice more than you play.
Yeah, of course. I've heard from a lot of players that their drilling is the vast majority of their. I mean, you told us that 5 days a week drilling, 1 day a week playing, 1 day rest. I was like, wait, what? I play all the time.
Yeah.
Everything. Absolutely. And okay, if there was one piece of advice you had to give someone aspiring to play senior pro, what would it be?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest reasons why I even broke into senior pro is because I went up to Scott Moore at a tournament and I introduced myself, and I was far from ready from being a senior pro. And I walked up to him and I introduced myself, and he was so kind and such a gentleman. And I said to him, I said, Mr. Moore, I said, if you ever need a partner last minute for a tournament, I said, can you think of me? And he asked me my name, and then he kindly and very subtly diverted the conversation to a whole nother subject. But what it did was he remembered me and he watched me for like a year. And in that year, I got better. And he took a shot on me. And trust me, that first shot wasn't good. Like I was scared to death. But he took a shot on me. And so my advice was ask people if they'll play with you. Take a chance and try to get that partner that will be your complement, who can help set you up, and who, but you need to ask. If you sit back and say, oh, woe is me, I don't have a good partner, I can't find somebody who compliments me, and blah, blah, blah. It's on you. You need to look at partners, go up to them and be aggressive and ask people to be your partner. That is how you can move up, because you're really only good as your partner.
Yeah, I love it. Another subject, just a couple more questions. You have a new pickleball venture, PB 1965. I know one of the
PB 1965.
There you go. One of the greats, Kyle Yates, is involved. A couple other people involved. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, let me just say I'm sponsored by Engage for my paddle, and they have supported me from the very beginning. And so I need to give just complete respect and admiration for them for supporting me when I was only a 4-5, and then also continuing to support me as a senior, because a lot of sponsors are dropping seniors, and Engage continues to support seniors. So let me just put that out there. Randy Sussman is probably the most incredible man He has the heart, just such a big heart. And he created PB 1965 with Kyle. And it is, it's going to be bigger than a clothing line. They're creating the Atlantic City Open, which is the largest indoor tennis football tournament coming up in, is that September, October? Yeah. And they're going to, I mean, it's going to be an adventure because they are going to have all this stuff at night, and there's go-karting, and there's like, it's just going to be bigger than a paddle tournament. It's going to be an adventure, and it's going to be so fun. And so I really want everybody doing it, but they're in the clothing line. And eventually here, I'm going to have my own clothing line, which I want to celebrate women of all ages, shapes, size, everything, not just, you know, I want the women who have matured through life and just celebrate everybody. So they have a great clothing line, which I love and wear. And then they're getting into tournaments, camps, but it really just, they love seniors. And it's just, it really is a company that comes from the heart and is about just celebrating all people. And it's going to be in many different areas of pickleball, not just the attire. Yeah. And then my other sponsor is Airfeet Insoles, who is supporting so many seniors. And I just want to give a shout out to them because they're a new sponsor. But again, it's they know I've had 5 surgeries on my feet. And so I really appreciate them, like, seeking me out and helping me, not because I have a lot of problems. So the insoles are great. So anyways, but again, these companies all support seniors, and that is, I think we need to celebrate them and support the companies that support seniors.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you a part of the PB 1965 company, sort of a partner in it, or are you more just they're repping you and you're kind of an ambassador to them?
I am, yeah, I'm sponsored by them. So I'm not a partner in the company, but I'm sponsored by them. Yep.
Cool. And then I guess two final quick questions. This one is not super related to pickleball, but it's something I like to ask to successful people I speak with. And that is, what does success mean to you?
So again, I talked about my journey. Is I kind of give myself 5 years for every sport. And my goal is to become the best version of myself as a pickleball player. Like, I don't measure I obviously measure myself against other people, but the point is that my goal is at the end of my 5 years that when I look at myself, I feel like with the abilities I have, where I am age-wise, my physical, strengths or restraints, that success to me at the end of this pickleball road would be that I literally am the best I possibly can be. And that it's not going to be how many golds I won or rankings or anything. I hope all that comes with it. But that's why I study and practice so hard, is that I'm trying to be the best I can be. That's success for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Final question, I ask this to a lot of people as well. Why do you love pickleball?
I love pickleball because it basically saved me from like a depression area of when my boys left, because I'm an Italian mama and my boys just, I think that's why I love you and Matt and everybody, because it's like, I feel like, oh my gosh, like you're a version of my boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just love being a mama, you know what I'm saying? And so pickleball kind of saved me. I love that. But I love pickleball because it celebrates everybody. And if you're 80, I remember the first US Open I went to, there was a match going on and there were probably 100, 150 people watching it. And I'm like, oh, who's playing? It must be number one. And it were 2 80-year-old guys playing singles. And the fact that everybody went up and was celebrating them and applauding them and were there supporting them, that to me is pickleball. the fact that you can do this and that everybody is so happy to see you, and that there's a place for everybody, no matter size, shape, age, racket ability, anything. That is what pickleball is.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right. And then, by the way, I have a signed Eva Welsher pickleball paddle here that we'll be giving away in our group on Instagram and the Pickleball Clinic Facebook group. So we'll do that soon. That'll be a lot of fun. And I mean, Eva, you're great. You helped Matt and I get to where we are in terms of
Oh,
our
I love you guys.
sport. And, you're doing so much for the sport. Stick with it, whether you play for 5 or 10 or 20 years or not. Be involved in the sport. The sport's lucky to have you. So
well, I'm really proud of you guys, and you guys are creating something wonderful, and I wish you guys all the best. You know that. So
thank you so much.